Hey everyone, welcome back to another WorldEdit tutorial. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these. That's because I've been running out of commands to teach you, but I did have this one that I have been planning on doing for a long time. I'm just finally getting around to doing it. Before I get into this video too far, just a reminder that if you are a beginner to WorldEdit, you might want to go watch some of my other tutorials before going into this one, because this one is assuming that you know the basics of how to copy and paste and replace, etc. Those are really basic commands, so if you don't understand those yet, I would recommend going to my playlist. I have a whole playlist covering all of the basics as well as some other advanced commands. You can go through there and find the ones that you don't know how to do before going into this one. Some commands in this video I never use or never have used. Some I use quite often, so you don't necessarily have to use all of these, but it's good to know what's out there and what is available to you. Since it's asked often in these videos, I am using the WorldEdit CUI mod to see my selections, and it is important to note there are two versions of this, one for Forge and one for Fabric, so get the one that is appropriate for whatever mod loader you are using. That was a lot of introduction, but now that we're done, we can start. The first command I'm going to show you is replace copy and set copy, and this is pretty self-explanatory. It's going to replace or set your selection with whatever is copied to your clipboard. So we're going to start with a very basic use case of this, which is a floor pattern. So I'm going to select my pattern and I'm just going to copy it. And now it is copied to our clipboard. Remember, we have this invisible clipboard in our inventory that is copied to. And I'm going to make a larger selection. And now when I run the command, either one will work here, replace or set. They will both work in this case because we have it selected on the ground, so set will set that ground, replacing will replace whatever blocks are present. So they're both going to do the exact same thing here, but let's just do replace hashtag copy. And as you can see, it has pasted and duplicated our clipboard all across our selection. Now something strange about this, I didn't know it would do this because it's the first time I tried it with this pattern. It rotated the netherite to the opposite corner, and it also rotated the terracotta in the middle. I don't have an answer for why it did that. It's very strange. The command did what it is supposed to do, other than this rotating business. I have no idea why it's doing that. Maybe somebody can let me know. Now let me show you how setting something will look. So this time we're going to try it with this very odd shape. Actually, let me go ahead and fix this up so I can select the opposite corner because I'm picky like that. And let's go ahead down here. We'll copy it. And now I'm going to make a new selection, a much bigger one. Now for this one, since we have a lot of error blocks selected, we're going to have to do the set command. So it's going to replace all of those error blocks with that weird spiral thing that we copied. So you can see it's going to stack all of those vertically and horizontally and create this very interesting structure. I'm not sure what this is, but hopefully that explains it well enough. There's really no need for me to do any more demonstration. Replace copy replaces blocks with what's in your clipboard. Set copy sets the blocks to what's in your clipboard. You can use either cut or copy to get things into your clipboard, and it's going to duplicate it vertically and horizontally depending on your selection. The next command I'm going to show you is replace hand, and this one is very, very useful and very easy to explain. So I already made my selection over there of the weird spiral thingies, and since we have our selection, we're just going to go ahead and run this command. So it's going to do exactly what it sounds like. It's actually going to replace whatever block I am currently holding in my hand. So if I'm holding diamonds and I do the command replace hand, there you see our selection has indeed switched to diamonds, and that's really all you need to know about this command. Honestly, this has nothing to do with copying or your clipboard, but I never mentioned this in a previous video, so I'm mentioning it now. The next few commands I'm going to go over are basically just going over some additional flags that you can use when copy and pasting that you might not know about. And these are going to be standard flags that you find in regular WorldEdit. So all of these should work perfectly fine in single player with WorldEdit. So first I'm going to do the command copy, and then I'm going to pretend like I'm typing a flag, and you can see all the different options we have. We have B, E, and M. So I'm going to go over what each one of those does, and we're going to start with the copy -b. This also works with cut -b, and paste -b is what you're going to use to paste it. So the B in this command stands for biome. So first we're going to set a biome to see how this works. Now something that some people have mentioned in my biome video was that when they set a biome to something, let's just do Badlands, that's at the top, it doesn't do it right away. However, we do get the message in the bottom corner saying you may have to rejoin your game to see it. So if you reconnect, like so, then you can see it has actually worked. So you may have to reconnect if you're doing this in single player, because it's just strange like that. But once you have the biome that you set, then you can use the copy or cut -b to copy your selection, including that biome. So we can copy -b, and if you look in the bottom corner again, you'll see it tells us exactly what was affected in our copy. We have 80 blocks copied, but also 80 biomes copied. And this is actually super useful because it helps you know if your command actually worked or not. So once I see that it copied my biomes down here, I know that I do for sure have those in my clipboard. So now I'm going to make another selection, and I'm going to have to paste this also with the -b for biome, otherwise it will not work. So I'm going to do paste -b now. We don't see the changes right away, but we do see in the corner that 80 biomes affected, which means it did do something. So I think we just need to relog again, and then we'll be able to see this. Okay, I just relogged, and you can see it did indeed paste it right up there. So these commands do work. You just might have to log in and out if you're doing this in single player, but just remember to use the -b at the end of the paste as well as the copy or cut. So you could technically copy an entire build that has a specific biome and you want to keep that biome with that build, just make sure to copy it with the -b flag and it will keep it all together for you. Next, we're going to look at copy -e and cut -e, and the E in this one stands for entity. So you can copy your entities and you can paste them. Just like before, you're gonna have to make sure you put the -e at the end of the paste. So, I mean, you can pretty much gather what to do with this now just by looking at that and just by me saying that, but let's just go ahead and do a demonstration. So we have our mob over here. In my testing, I did find it doesn't matter if you're selecting the full height of the mob or not. I could even only be selecting the feet and this will work, but let's just go ahead and select all of this. We're going to copy -e. It does work with cut too, by the way. You can see in the bottom left corner, it does say one entity is affected. Okay, it should be one entity, WorldEdit, but we'll ignore your bad grammar for now. And we're gonna paste this over here. We're gonna remember to do paste minus, I always do -a, but we need -e. Now you can always mix the flags. If you know anything about WorldEdit, you know that you can do multiple flags at the same time. So any of these flags that you see at the end of the paste command, you can string them all together if you really needed to. But you're not limited to just using one flag at a time. This time, let's try cut -e and see what happens. So we'll cut -e, and it's going to cut the entire entity even though I only selected his feet. And we can paste that selection over here, -e, boom, and there he is. So now we have two of them. It also looks like it does copy them with their name tags in place, so that's another cool thing to note. And that's the -e flag, which I will probably never use again. The next flag I'm going to show you is -m, which as you can see, it's only used for copy and cut, not for paste, but this is one I do use all the time. The M here stands for a mask, so we can basically cut or copy a specific type of block using this flag. So I'm going to demonstrate on this angel. If we wanted to copy a very specific block, you can do that. If you wanted to copy more than one, I'm sure you can do that too. But here is how it works. So we're going to make our selection, position 1, position 2, and let's say I want to only copy the diorite in the wings. So I can do copy -m, and then we're going to add the ID for the diorite. It's really easy in 1.16. We can just auto-complete it like that. So when I do this command, copy -m diorite, we're only copying the diorite blocks. Now I think it's only copying the diorite full blocks, not the stairs or walls, and we'll see what happens. And then we're just gonna come over here and we'll paste that in. Let's just paste -A to be safe. And as you can see, yes, it has only copied the full blocks of diorite. But this is super useful if you had one little piece of your build you wanted to move. Now I know that there's other things connected to this, like stairs and stuff, but let's just do the example cut -M diorite. Let's find the diorite. And you can see it's cutting only those blocks, and then if I fly up just a couple more blocks, I can paste that in. Let's do -A so we don't interfere with the rest of the things. And it's a great quick way of just shifting one type of block around your build. So I do use this command a lot. It's super useful if you just need to copy or cut a single type of block. Let's see if it actually works with multiple types. So I'm basically mutilating my poor angel here. Let me undo that last change I did. And let's try copying more than one. So we'll do -M. If we want to do more than one, we'll probably just have to separate it with a comma. So we'll do diorite, comma, andesite. And it's not auto-completing for us, so I hope I'm doing this right. But I think I did do that right. So let's come over here and we'll try pasting it in again. We'll just paste that in there, and it did work. As you can see, it's showing just the full blocks of the andesite and the diorite. That's actually really funny that the rest of that statue is built with slabs and stairs, and these are the only full blocks that exist in that whole thing. Anyway, that is the -M flag. It's really one of my favorites. I use it all the time. Super, super useful. The next command I'm going to show you is the copy brush. And this allows you to create a brush based on something you copied. I actually don't use this too often myself, but we're going to go through it in the best detail that I know how. So these are all extra flags that you can add on the end of the command. I'm going to explain what each letter means. You know most of them already. -A is skipping air blocks, -B is biome, E is for entity, O is for based on like the original position of the copied object, and M is your mask. So you can use all of those flags with this command, and if we do start to type it out, you can even see them all listed here in your autocomplete. So they're all right there, and I basically told you what each one does, but we're just going to demonstrate it really fast now. So we have our tree selected, or almost selected. It looks like I got one corner off. And let's just go ahead and copy it. It doesn't really matter where I copy it from, but something I did notice, oh, first let me do this. Let's make our brush. We're going to do BR copy after I've copied it, and I'm just going to do -A so that we're not pasting in the air blocks. Oh, this is also something important to note. Because my selection is so big, it says maximum brush radius and configuration is 6. This is because I'm in a single player world and I need to reconfigure my file to allow for a larger brush size. And since whatever I copied is my brush size, I need to go fix this real quick. Okay, I just restarted the game after reconfiguring the brush size. So if you go to this file path on your computer, you should find a file that you can open up in Notepad, and then you're just going to want to change the max brush radius or the max radius and just save out the file, restart the game, and you should be good. Now the moment of truth. Let's see if it actually worked. Let me copy this again. Let me get my tool to use as a brush. We'll copy this, BR copy. We'll do -A so that it's not going to paste air blocks with this, and it seems like it did work. So updating that file did seem to work. So like I said, I copied this, but we've just created a brush that includes the tree, but no air blocks. So if I start clicking this around, I'm pretty sure this brush actually works based on the center of the selection. So it's going to paste the center wherever my crosshairs are. That's why the top of the tree is getting buried in the ground like this. I don't know a way around this in regular WorldEdit. If anyone knows, you can let me know. But as far as I know, in single player, this is how this command works. It always pastes it from the center of your selection, which is a bit annoying. But the next flag I'm going to show you might be a slight workaround to this problem. So I did mention all of these other flags that you can use with this. You can use the biome, the entity. The -O one is a little bit tricky, so let's go over that one real quick. It's going to paste it based on the original position of your copied object. And by original position, I mean it's going to paste it based on where you were standing when you copied it. I think that is the best way to explain it. So if I put it down here, it's going to kind of put it, if I'm clicking directly here on the grass, it's going to paste a little bit in that direction because I was standing about that distance from it when I was copying it. So if it's acting as if I were standing here and I right click it here, then it's going to paste it about the same distance where I was standing from it when I copied it. I don't know why it's going into the ground a little bit. It does go off a little bit vertically, and that could just be a bug. It could just be some kind of behavior I am not familiar with. I don't know if that made much sense, but that is the best I can do to explain that flag to you. And of course, the other one that is super useful is the -M. So just as a demonstration, let's do the BR copy this time with the -M, and let's do the purple glazed terracotta. That's a long one to type, but let's find it. So now we should have a brush that just includes those purple glazed terracotta. And look at that, that is really cool. And something good to know is whenever you're using a mask on any of these commands, it's automatically going to paste it -A. So you don't need to use the -A when you're using a mask. It's going to do that automatically because it's already masking that specific type of block. But that's really cool, look at that. That is a lot of fun, and you can just spam click and make an interesting shape. Maybe make a tree even bigger. Like I just made myself a little tunnel. Beautiful. Now I'm sure some of you are thinking, Meg, you showed us how to make a brush and how to do all these cool things with copy, but what if I want to move my build to a different world? Well, this is all you need to do. All you have to do is copy it, save a schematic, and I didn't include the next one. The next step is to load the schematic and paste it. I can't believe I forgot to make a sign with that, but we're going to show you how to do it anyway. So to make a schematic, you're just going to copy your object. Let's say I want to save this tree and use it in the future, or maybe put it in a different world. I'm just going to copy it, simple enough. If I wanted to copy the biome along with it, I could also use the -B flag that I mentioned earlier. So you could use any of those flags I mentioned before. It's also good to note that the schematic is going to save from whatever position you're standing next to it when you copied it. It works exactly the same like anything you copy. But anyway, we're just going to do schematic, save, and then you're going to type the name of the file that you want to save it as. I'm just going to call this purple tree. It can be anything you want. So schematic save purple tree, and it says purple tree saved. Now if you don't know where the schematics are being saved to, they're being saved in the same location where you found the WorldEdit configuration file. Okay, now that you know where the files are saved, I actually created a brand new world just to show you that it does indeed work. So now that I have that file saved in my folders, all I have to do is load it in to my clipboard. Of course, you still have to have WorldEdit running in the background when you do this. So I'm just going to do schematic, load, and what was it called? Purple tree. We'll just load that in, and then all we have to do is paste -A, and it's going to paste in relation to where we copied it from, so it's going to copy over here with some error blocks underneath because we didn't paste the error blocks. Let's try that again. Let me undo. Let's paste that in again without the -A, and it's going to paste the error blocks too. So it's going to get rid of anything that gets in the way. And yep, that's how you paste things between worlds. Pretty cool. Also, really quick side note, if you're working with the schematics, if you start typing it out, you can see all these different things you can do with it. You can list out all of your schematics here. You can load them, save them. I'm not sure what formats does. Let's find out. Okay, it tells you all the available clipboard formats that you can use. So I guess you could save them as any of these formats, I'm assuming. So as far as like deleting them or listing them, you can always go in the folder and find that out, or you can even do it here in game. I know this video is already getting pretty long and we went over a lot of commands, but as a bonus, I want to go over the BR copy paste command, which is basically the fast async version of the BR copy. It's much easier to use than the standard WorldEdit, but I'm going to explain this on a server that actually has fast async, so I will see you there in just a moment. You cannot do this in single player, but However, you could host your own server theoretically with fast async on it if you wanted to do it for yourself. But anyway, we're going to go over a couple extra commands with fast async that regular WorldEdit does not have. First, there is an additional flag for copy. So if you look at this, we can do copy minus, and there's an additional letter here, C. And what this does is it will copy your object based on the center of your selection. So if I copy minus C for center, it's going to paste it from the center of that selection. So obviously the center has that ice spike in it, so it's pasted right next to me. So it doesn't matter where I'm standing around it, when I have the minus C flag, it's going to paste it from the center of that selection, which is really, really cool. I wanted to mention that because it is an extra flag that I didn't get to show off in the standard WorldEdit. But now let me go into the one command that I really wanted to show you. So let's deselect that for now. And we're going to create another copy brush, but this time it's going to be a little different. It's going to be BR copy paste. And there are a couple flags we can use with this, but first let's just start with the ordinary one so I can kind of explain the basics. So BR copy paste. Now what this does is it allows you to click on an object to copy it and also click again to paste it. So if I click down here, right down there, it's going to copy however many blocks above this. It's copied 50 blocks above it. And then I can click over here. You can either left click or right click, and it's going to paste those blocks that we copied. Now you'll notice it did not copy all of them, it just copied a part of them. Usually you have to adjust your brush size in order to copy more. So I think the brush size is based on, I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know with this one. But if I make the brush size larger, like size 20, and then I copy this again, by the way, to reset what is being copied, you have to shift click and that will reset your brush. Then you click again, and this time you paste. So that time I did paste all of them. Because I increased my brush size, I was able to copy it all. So quick recap, you type BR copy paste, and then you'll click to set your copied object. You shift click to reset your brush if you ever need to. Sometimes I do this accidentally, all the time actually. I do this accidentally and then I have to remake my copied thing, so just be careful with it. And then you can left or right click to paste. See, I already messed up. You shift click, click again to copy, and then click to paste. This command does not work, however, if the blocks are not connected. Even with a large brush size, this is not going to work. I can set this to be my copied object, and my brush size is 20 right now, so it should definitely pick up that, but it doesn't. So they do have to be connected in order for it to work. Let's try putting a block there, shift click to reset, click to copy, and now we can paste. So you can see it just has to have the blocks connected. One more thing now we have to go over are the two flags that come with the copy paste brush. So let's do BR copy paste, and if we enter minus here, you can see both of the flags that are available. -R to apply a random rotation on paste, -A to apply auto view based rotation on paste. So let's go over those one at a time. First we'll start with the -R. I actually don't need to select this. I don't know why I just did that, because with the copy paste brush we select things with our brush. So first let's enter BR copy paste -R for the random rotation. Let's just clear our selection just to be safe, click over here to copy it, and let's just start pasting. And it's going to randomly rotate it 90 degrees. So it's only working with 90-degree angles here on the y-axis. So that's pretty cool. Look at this weird mess I'm making. What makes this brush much better than the WorldEdit is really just the fact that it's pasting it from the base of the copied object rather than from the center, which I am very appreciative for. But also notice it does ignore air blocks automatically, so if you needed to paste an object that had air blocks in it, then you might have to go with a different approach. BR copy -A is really cool because this allows you to paste based on your viewing angle. So it's going to adjust the rotation of what you're pasting based on the position you're viewing it, which is really, really cool. So if I have this, let's go ahead and reset our brush, select this, and then we're just going to start pasting. If I paste it straight down, it's going to paste it straight down. If I paste it sideways, it's actually going to flip that sideways because I'm changing my viewing angle of it. So technically, I could take this and rotate it around in a very strange manner. So depending on how I'm viewing it, that's the angle it's going to paste it. You can create all kinds of interesting shapes with this. Look at that. Look at that mess. I really like using this with the ice spike because then I can adjust the rotation of it. Let me show that off real quick. So let's reset, copy this, and then I can look straight down to create a spike that goes straight up. If I look sideways, it's going to go sideways. If I look on an angle, you can create like an array of ice spikes. So that brush is kind of messy, as you can see, and it really just takes kind of trying it out for yourself and figuring out how it works and adjusting your size of your brush and just messing with your viewing angle. But it is really useful if you need to copy and paste things at random angles. It's really, really nice for that purpose. I think this is finally the end of this video. If you watched it the whole way through, you are a very patient person. I hope some of these commands prove useful to you. I tried to explain them to the best of my ability. If you have a clarification you can offer, feel free to leave it in the comments. But I hope you liked this video, and if you want to check out my other WorldEdit tutorials, I don't know why you haven't before this video, but you should go check them out and see if you learn anything from those. But that is all for this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night, and happy building! Bye!